Welcome to the Boxing Bookie. We had another good weekend. We hit on our lock of the week, although we had to settle for less than the full amount because we had the draw, which comes out. Oh, uh, but we still made money. We did good. We did well last week, so that was good. Guys, stroll on in. It's good to have you. It's good to be back after another big week. We hit on everything. I hit on the over under in on the kind of coil fight. I hit on Rayo being Pitbull. Guys, roll on in. But it was a really good week. Before we get into that, please like, share, and subscribe. Please hit the like button, subscribe, the whole thing. Guys, roll on in. It's good to have you here. It's good to be back. Let me update one thing real quick while you guys roll in. Need to update one thing. Give me 1 second, y'all. I just need to update one thing. Hey, what up, world of wrestling? What up, my man? What up, my dude? What up, my dude? You think Leo is going to have a shot at being... Yes, I do. I haven't gotten to the video. That video will probably drop tomorrow. I would imagine I'm going to try to get to Virgil Ortiz. There's not a ton up right now, but I think there's a chance. Let's take a look at it. I want to take a look at... There's not a whole lot. DraftKings had nothing up this morning. But we're going to take a look at all the bets today. But yeah, no, I definitely think Angel Leo's got a shot. Angel Leo is a very underrated fighter. Lopez is unconventional. He's a little unorthodox. He's quirky in there, but he's not flawless. He can be had. And I like Lopez a lot. I covered him since 2019, for 5 years when he beat Ray Jimenez in Toppenish, Washington on a little Roy Jones card. And he went from that to a world champion. So it's been intriguing and interesting to cover him, to say the least, for sure. I bet him 25 at 3+. Yeah, I think, it's worth a shot. Luis Alberto Lopez is a good champion. He's a fighting champion. He's a good fighter. Like I said, he's unconventional. He's unorthodox. But he's a good fighter. He's not unbeatable. He can be had. He's easy to hit sometimes. I know he's weird and herky jerky, but he can be had. He can be had for sure. He can hit like a Mack truck. He's a good fighter. But Angel Leo is top notch. Angel Leo could have him. He could. I'm not saying he's going to win, but yeah, I don't think that's a crazy bet by any means. Not at all. I don't think that's a terrible bet at all. I like the odds. I like Landolfo Delgado. I like Virgil Ortiz. We've got some. That's all we have up right now. Let me share this with you. DraftKings ain't got nada up. So I'm looking at FanDuel. I use DraftKings, but right now, can y'all see this? Yeah, y'all can see this, right? Right now, this is all they got. So I definitely like Landolfo Delgado over Brian Flores for sure. I like Virgil. I love Virgil Ortiz at plus 290. That's a nice bet. This one I would say is close. Like, you're getting plus 370. You're getting plus 370 on World of Wrestling. Like, it might be worth it. Angelo Leo is not a bad fighter at all. Angelo Leo, and he's a pressure fighter. He throws a lot of punches. He's not the biggest hitter in the world, but I think he's got enough pop. I've been on the record before saying I like Angelo Leo. When he fought Eduardo Baez, he stopped Mike Pena in 3 rounds. He stopped Nicholas Blanco. It's not like he's completely feather-fisted. He beat Tremaine Williams when no one thought he could win that fight. And then he got shut out by Stephen Fulton. He got dominated by Stephen Fulton. Like, it happens. Right? Stephen Fulton is a great fighter. Angelo Leo has beaten everybody else, and he's beaten some big name fighters. So this is a great fight. This is neither does Hard Rock except Ortiz fighting Top Rank. Yeah, that's all I got right now. This is all I got right now, fellas. Hopefully they update it. There is no Pro Box card on this week. I haven't really checked the schedule. I was so invested and so involved in this week. I was so into this week that I haven't even begun to peek at next week. But there's a lot of good fights. There's a lot of action going on. A lot of things that I want to get into. We're gonna start with these three. Like, this makes sense. Hey, yeah, we were just talking about that. Muscles. Muscles is in the house. Yeah, nothing on DraftKings yet, which is I'm really starting to get fed up with DraftKings. They'll drop everything but I'm gonna start I'm gonna do a Virgil Ortiz tonight. Hopefully I have it out tonight, and then I'm gonna do Angelo Leo tomorrow. I think it's great odds too. They have him at minus 290. Yeah, they don't have him by stoppage, but I like him by stoppage. He stopped everybody. I like that a lot. There's a lot of good bets that we can be made. I'm definitely gonna parlay Landolfo Delgado and Virgil Ortiz together. I think that's with these odds. I think that's really, really, really wise to do that. It's the week after on 8/17, but Billy or Derevyanchenko. I love Derevyanchenko. He seems a little shot, a little aged. He's been in a ton of wars, and I think Billy is flawed, but I still think Billy wins this fight. I haven't gotten to the tape yet, obviously. So Pepino, I haven't seen you up in the chat before. You my Italiano, but come back closer when I get to watch all the tape. But off the top of my head, I definitely think Billy gets the stoppage. Derevyanchenko, I like. Warrior, great dude, been in a ton of good fights, beat Triple G. I don't care what the judges said. That was a horrific robbery. Derevyanchenko is a fun fighter, a good fighter. I like him a lot, but I think his best days are behind him, and Billy is and I don't think Billy is cracked up to be what a lot of people are making him out to be, but he's a good fighter. He'll win the fight. Yeah, week is pretty much how DraftKings works by now. I am really at my wit's end with DraftKings. And Billy and Derevyanchenko is 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from yesterday. And he was asking me what I thought. I think he's going to beat Derevyanchenko. It's a good fight. It's a good step up. It's a good challenge. Like I said, I'm a Derevyanchenko fan. I'm a Derevyanchenko truther. He's just not going to beat Billy. But Hochuk going to get chinned too hittable. Yeah, and that's why I like the odds at minus 290 is really, really good odds. Like minus 290 is really good on that. I would definitely I see there's a very clear path of victory for Angelo Leo against Luis Alberto Lopez. That could happen. What can't happen is the Hochuk beating Virgil Ortiz. So I don't understand. Like, this is what Virgil Ortiz at minus 290 is easy money. He should be a bigger favorite than Luis Alberto Lopez. And Luis Alberto Lopez at minus 500 is a terrible bet, right? He could win that fight, but at minus 500, it's not worth the risk. You got to bet 500 on a guy, and I haven't gotten to the tape yet. Once I get to the tape, I'll make my predictions and everything on the tape, and I want to get into that with y'all. But until then, let's take a look at that. That seems way too wide to me. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'll pick it up on the tape. But off the top of my head, what I would tell you guys preliminarily, Virgil Ortiz, if you can get Virgil Ortiz by stoppage, take it. Take Angelo Leo on the money line for sure. Take Angelo Leo on the money line. Plus 370. Don't parlay these because that could miss. And then Landolfo Delgado. Absolutely Landolfo Delgado for sure. Those are the three bets I would make. That's what I like this week. Delgado fighting Brian Flores. I absolutely think that's not much of a test for Delgado, who I think is one of the best young fighters in the world. Brian Flores is okay. We saw Brian Flores against Tyrone Lucky at the Punch Bowl back in 2021 on the Nonita Donaire Raymar Guy bio card. There's nothing special about him. I don't see him really having much of a chance and much of a path to victory in that fight. But Hot Chuck doesn't keep his chin in. I think Ortiz will stop him. Yeah, I definitely think Virgil Ortiz is going to stop him. I mean, I think those odds are great. Like, I wish for you that they had that up now so you could lock into minus 290, minus 320 is what I'm saying. Those are really good odds. Like, he's absolutely going to win that fight. Yeah, every fight is competitive on the top level with Derevyanchenko, so I think he has a chance. He's got a shot. I like Derevyanchenko. I'm not gonna pick him to win. Like, I know what Billy is, and I know what he isn't, and like what he is right now, I think he's gonna beat Derevyanchenko. But I'm a big Derevyanchenko guy. Abdullah is fighting on the 17th too, in an 8-rounder. Definitely betting on the stoppage. Is he fighting on the 17th? Oh, on the 17th, not on the next card. Yes. That's correct. I'm getting my weeks mixed up. Yes, you're correct. I'll go over the card. Muscles, not muscles. Rocket sent me the on Patreon. So here's what we have. Virgil Ortiz versus Sergey Bohadchuk. Okay. Charles Conwell, who I love, who's just been inactive as hell, against Kiri Gray. Okay. Kenneth Sims against Jesus Perez. Gabriel Pandora against Daniela Asano. And then Joel Irati versus Thomas Glumetti. That's what we have on the Virgil Ortiz card, which is not terrible. Then on the undercard of Lopez and Angelo Leo, we have Landolfo Delgado against Brian Flores, which we mentioned, undefeated fighters. Richard Torres, the young heavyweight, against Joshua Temple. That's easy money. Alan Garcia versus Donnie Reeves. I don't know why we're doing that. Vito Melnicki against TBA, and Arnold K. Guy against Belmore Presidio. A lot of these fights are weird. A lot of these fights are really, really strange. Hawk is in the building, my boy. Hawk, my dude, Hawk is in the building. It's always good to have Hawk here. There will be a lot of these cards, like Richard Torres for sure. Those guys, they'll have those fights up. Richard Torres by stoppage is always a good bet. Alan Garcia and Donnie Reeves will be up there. Those fights, Arnold K. Guy, I'm sure. And then obviously the Charles Conwell versus Kiri Gray, Kenneth Sims and Jesus Perez. Those fights will all be added to DraftKings. It's just frustrating that as of now, DraftKings has nothing. And FanDuel only has these 3 fights. And like these 3 fights, 2 of them are extremely easy to predict. Landolfo Delgado defeats Brian Flores. The only question is, does he stop him? You know, and I got to get to the tape before I predict that. Virgil Ortiz and Sergey Bohadchuk. Who wins that fight? Virgil Ortiz by stoppage. Like, that's great odds. I'd lock that in right now. Like, I'm being serious. If you can lock this in, if you use FanDuel or whatever book you use, you can get minus 290 on Virgil Ortiz. Just take it. Like, that's easy money. That's a gift. And then Luis Alberto Lopez. Angelo Leo, a come forward pressure fighter. Throws a lot of punches, keeps the pressure on, can make you uncomfortable. Luis Alberto Lopez, fun fighter, Mexican fighter, throws from angles. You know, he doesn't use his jab much. He leaves himself open to be countered. He's unorthodox, but he's tricky. Like I've always said, he reminds me a little bit of Carl Frost, and what he's doing is not conventional. But there's subtle nuances to it. Like he knows how to fight, even though he looks like he's out of control. You know, I like Luis Alberto Lopez, but I know what his flaws are. All right. Like he can be hit. He lunges in, he jumps in, and he can be hit. He's strong as hell. He can punch. He throws from angles. He's hard to track. He's hard to corner. But Angelo Leo is an excellent pressure fighter who can cut off the ring. So this is a great fight on paper. It should be a great fight. It's a can't miss on paper. Angelo Leo, pressure fighter, throws a lot of punches. Luis Alberto Lopez, big puncher, throws from a litany of angles, unconventional and orthodox, but beats everybody for the most part. How does that translate against Leo, who's constantly on you? It's a fun fight. That's the one that's much harder to predict. They were asking me early in the chat, could Angelo Leo win that fight at plus 370? I think it's definitely worth a gamble, right? Like again, I'm gonna. You don't make those bets yet. Virgil Ortiz you should lock into, but this. Let me get to the video on this. I definitely think Angelo Leo's got a fighting shot. Whether or not I want to call him 50-50, I don't know. But he could definitely win that fight. Like, there's no question about it. Angelo Leo could beat Luis Alberto Lopez. Angelo Leo is an excellent fighter who's been on TV a lot. We've covered his career throughout. Like, there's a reason that we've seen so much Angelo Leo. Like, there's a reason for that. It's because he's a damn good fighter. And there's a good chance we could see Angelo Leo beat Luis Alberto Lopez, but I'll get for the IBF 126 featherweight title. Good fighter, man. Like, those odds are a little bit disrespectful, I feel. But if you wanted to parlay Delgado and Virgil Ortiz, let me just see what that would look like. Hang on. Hey guys, look at this. You guys want to see what a Lindolfo Delgado moneyline, Virgil Ortiz moneyline parlay looks like? Minus 186. Guys, go make that bet. Seriously, go make that bet. Minus 186 for Virgil Ortiz and Lindolfo Delgado just to win. Just to win is minus 186. That's going to hit, guys. Like, bet heavy on that. Rocket, I know you like safe, not Rocket, Muscles. I know you like safer parlays, right? That pay in that range. This is a good one. That 2-leg parlay right there. I know you can't get it yet on DraftKings, but right there, that's a great line. That's a great line. I mean, I would even go as far as just say take Verge on my stoppage on the prop. They don't have it yet. They don't have that up yet. They just have the money line bets. But take it like minus 186. The chance of Virgil Ortiz losing is almost zero. The chance of Lindolfo Delgado losing is almost zero. Like, these are pretty safe bets that I think you can make right this second, right? Just lock him in. I would imagine both these odds are going to get worse. So if you use FanDuel, whatever, this is an easy place to pick up money. It makes some easy money on this. Like, these odds are going to worsen, I would imagine. And okay. Let me get to some of these chats. Charles, 79 Bros. Charles Conwell is on the card. I'm adding him. Yeah, I'm a huge Charles Conwell fan. I think he's like one of the best guys who is at 54 and now at 160. I think Charles Conwell is amazing. He's just, he's been with Lou DiBella. He's been inactive, but I think he's a great fighter. Like, he was Olympian. I think Charles Conwell is excellent. I think he's a world championship caliber fighter. I got in on the recruiting and the scouting on him. I think he's phenomenal. Nate says, what's up, Gary? What's up, Nate? Nate is my boy. Nate is a phenomenal basketball head that joins me on my Brooklyn Nets channel. I got a whole bunch. Addison is in the house. Addison is my dude as well. We got a bunch of guys in the house. Addison, Nate, and Hawk, thank y'all for showing up. I love that 2-leg parlay. Muscle says, I love it too. Like, right now, you can't get it on DraftKings, which sucks. But as soon as that becomes eligible, as soon as you can find that, as soon as your book drops the odds, if they're anything similar, just lock it in. Just lock it in. You're going to make money off of it. Addison? Subs. Oh, thank you, Addison. Appreciate that. We did well last week, guys. We did well last week. Even though I missed on the heavyweights, we still had a really, really good week. I didn't get to everyone's thoughts on Terrence Crawford. I think Crawford is no longer in his peak. I think he's 36, almost 37. I think he's a little bit shot worn. We probably won't see him in the ring again until he's 38. I'm not saying he's a bad fighter. I'm not saying he's going to lose his next fight. I'm just saying he's no longer in his peak. He's no longer in his prime. He's in the Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant stage of his career where he's still very, very good, and there's still very few fighters who are better than him, but he's not at his best. He's on the decline, and that happens at this age. So I would give Terrence Crawford's performance a B. I did think he won. I had a 115, 113 for Crawford. I want to know what y'all had. What did y'all think of that fight? How did y'all have that? Thought it was a highly competitive, highly interesting fight. There was a lot of toss-up rounds, a lot of rounds early. My scorecard reflects nothing like that of the judges, even though we both got to 115, 113. I got there in a very, very different way than the judges did. I just want to – did anyone have Madrimov winning that fight? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying it's a terrible scorecard. I'm just genuinely curious. Did anyone have Madrimov winning that fight? I think Crawford should retire. He's proved himself already. I don't hate that take. You know, he's not gonna because he's a fighter, right? And he loves to fight. But yeah, if Crawford walked away now, 4-division world champ, unified at 147, undisputed at 147, undisputed at 140, unified at 135, and now I guess technically unified at 140. He got 2 belts. So he's unified belts in 4 weight classes. He's been world champion and undisputed world champion in 2 of them, undisputed in 2, unified in 4. What else do you really want from the guy, right? Like, I know he didn't have that signature victory, but he's got Errol Spence, and that's good enough, right? Like, a victory over Errol Spence is good enough. When you look at Terrence Crawford, he's been marred with inactivity, and when he was with Top Rank didn't really do right by him. But Terrence Crawford's career right now, 41-0, 31 knockouts. He went the distance for the first time in 8 years. 8 years was the last time someone took him to the distance. And let's just pull up his career real quick. Madrimov, good win. Errol Spence, that's the best win of his career. David Avanesian, okay, whatever. Sean Porter, great win, Hall of Famer. Kell Brook, former world champion, great win. Kavaliauskas, not his best one. Amir Khan, look, you guys can say what you want about Amir Khan, 2-division world champion. Amir Khan was a great fighter. That's a good win. Jose Benavidez, good win. Jeff Horn beat Pacquiao, good win. Ndongo, unified champ at 140, stopped in 3 rounds, good win. Felix Diaz, good fighter, Olympian, silver medalist, good win. John Molina, trash. Victor Postal, really good fighter, former world champion. That's an excellent win. And he lost the first round and then dominated every single moment of the fight thereafter. That is an excellent win. So you go through these wins, right? And then you got Lundy, that doesn't matter. Deary John, that doesn't matter. Thomas Delorme in 15 in UT Arlington. I was there for that fight. Phenomenal fight. That's a solid win. Raymond Beltran, in retrospect, the way that he dumped all over Raymond Beltran, he went on to win a world title. A great win. And then obviously the stoppage of Gamboa, the beatdown of Ricky Burns in what was probably the most competitive fight of his career. And we're going back 10 years. And then Andre Klimov. It's a really, really good career that spans, the peak of it spans over 10 years. He's beating world-class. I mean, we already know he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. We already know that he's an all-time great. But, like, when you really look at it, he doesn't have that great win that you really hang your hat on. He's got Spence. He's got Porter. But it's a great career. Like, he had a great run, 41-0, 31 knockouts. If he retired now, his place, I rank him above Juan Manuel Marquez all time. I rank him above Chavez all time. I think Crawford should retire. Yep, I don't disagree with that at all. I had Crawford winning 7-5 or 8-4, right where I was. But I could see it being closer. Crawford 115, 113. Madrimov was landing clean shots, but not many combos. Agreed. No, and that's his problem, Madrimov. He's not a big enough combination puncher. He throws from angles. Right? And he's tricky and he's slick and he's a lot faster than you think. But it's always one at a time. He's never really putting 2 and 3s together. And if you put 2 and 3s together, Crawford is such an amazing counterpuncher. Like, you're gonna pay for it. Like, you can't really throw in 3s with Crawford. It's got to be just ones or ones and twos. And you're right. Even when Majimov threw in twos, he really only landed one of them. So I agree with 79 Pro's take on that. There wasn't not enough, but you really can't throw combinations like that against Crawford. Errol Spence tried it. It didn't go well. Yo, Rocket, my boy Rocket. All my favorite people are up in here today. What up, Roger? What up, Roger? It's good to see you. Always Roger here. So Virgil Ortiz by stoppage, I think, may be the best bet of this weekend. If they drop that prop, I'm guessing at minus 290, Virgil Ortiz by stoppage is going to be close to even money, which is crazy to me. My guess is when it comes out, it's going to be minus 140. It would be my guess, which I think is crazy because he's almost certainly going to stop Bohachuk, like almost for certain. And at minus 140, like that's a steal, unless that line goes crazy over the next day or two, but before whatever they drop the props. But if you have a book that has this fight, lock it in right now. Lock in that parlay too. Virgil Ortiz and Landolfo Delgado on a money line. Calculate how much money you're going to make, then take that money, put it in a piggy bank, and when they drop the props for Virgil Ortiz to stop them, put the money on that. Put the money on Virgil Ortiz to stop Bohachuk, right? Because it's going to pay pretty well. I can't guarantee that, but I can almost guarantee he stops him. We came up well. I ended up placing a standalone after Jared Anderson screwed me. I came along and put a bet on Raya to pull the upset, and then he beat up Pitbull Cruz. So I came up. I made some nice money. We came out ahead for sure. Yeah, I went over him. I appreciate that. Yeah. Rocket's asking me, and I did. I mentioned that early in the stream. If I saw the 2 screenshots he sent me in the Patreon, for sure, I did. Appreciate that because I hadn't seen that yet, and I'm on Top Rank's media list, and Top Rank hadn't sent that to me. I saw the Virgil Ortiz one. Golden Boy did send that to me, but I hadn't seen that yet. I don't think Top Rank sent that to me yet, but I appreciate that. We went over it early. We talked about the fights on that for sure. No, I appreciate that. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, he sent me the undercards. Top Rank announced their undercards Monday. Delgado versus Flores, which we talked about. Richard Torres, the young heavyweight, 10-0, 10 knockouts against Joshua Temple. He'll get another knockout there. Alan Garcia versus Donnie Reeves. Probably win that fight. Vito Melnicki, who is now a Top Rank fighter, against a junior middleweight to be announced. And Arnold K-Guy against Belmar Presidio in a fight that absolutely no one cares about, in which I would probably pick Arnold K-Guy. And then on the Golden Boy card, Virgil Ortiz and Sahih Bohachuk. We have Charles Conwell, which we talked about. He'll beat Kiri Gray. We have Kenneth Sims and Jesus Perez. Gabriel Fundora, Sebastian Fundora's sister, against Daniela Asano. And Joe Irate versus Thomas Gilmetti. So it's a both undercards are decent, things to watch. And then we get another big week next week as well. So we made some money last week. We'll make some money again this week, and then big week next week coming up as well. So we got a lot coming up. This week will be decent. We'll make some money this week, but next week again is another big fight week. I want Gary's fight expertise. Who wins the fight? When I go upstairs and tell her I used her car and left empty it. Okay. Hang on. I want Gary's fight expertise. Who wins the fight when I go upstairs and tell her I used her car and left it on empty and took the 20 she left on the console for beer and the gas light on dashboard E? So basically, Roger took his chick's car, took the $20, spent it on beer, and left the car on empty with no gas and no $20. Who wins that fight? Well, here's what I'll say, Raj. You can't ever really win a fight with a broad because even if you win, you still lose, right? Like, there's no winning. Like, men fight fair, women don't. So you can't really win a fight with a chick. That's one. And two is you're not winning this fight. Like you took her last $20 and left her on E. But you did get beer, so I guess I guess it depends. Maybe that's a moral victory. Your chick's gonna be mad at you, but you did score some beer for free. It's free if you take her money and pay for it. Excellent. Roger, that's a lot of detail. Did that actually happen? Roger, I gotta know. Just straight up. Did that happen or is this a hypothetical? That's a lot of detail for a hypothetical. This happened. Roger's waiting for his chick to come home and be like, hey, where'd you get the beer from? Where's my $20? Why is my car on E? That's gonna happen. Should I go remove the two losing lottery tickets on the passenger seat? Yeah, I would get rid of them. I wouldn't leave them there. It's trash, Raj. It belongs in the trash can. That's what I'll say. Yes, get rid of it. If you feel bad about it, keep your mouth shut and don't do it again. If you don't feel bad about it, I don't know, just do it again. Like whatever. There's no reason to tell her. Confessing your sins to your chick is just a way to rid yourself of your own guilt. It's not going to do anything for her, right? If you feel bad about it, don't do it again. If you don't feel bad about it, then don't worry about it, right? Like I don't know. Should I drive the car around the block and report it stolen? Yeah, you don't need to go that far. You don't need to go that far. Just I don't know. I don't know. Why is my car on E? I can't be certain. I can't be certain. Why is my $20 missing? Well, that's a complicated question. I can't really answer that question without it taking 20 minutes. I would not. Reporting the car stolen is probably a crime. And driving and just dropping it off around the block is probably a dumb crime. If you're going to do that, you might want to go drop it off in the abandoned woods or something where no one's going to find it, not around the corner where they're going to find it. So I would skip that part and then just play dumb. I would just, it's like when you get questioned on the stand. If you say, I don't recall, I can't be certain. Really, you can't get in any trouble because you're not lying. I can't be certain. Like, did you ever see something down the road and then you get closer and then it's not what you thought it was? I can't be certain. I can't be certain. That's all. I can't be certain. When she gets home, I will ask her for the $20. There you go, Roger. I like that. That's a good idea, Raj. Now you're thinking, my man. All right, y'all. This was fun. I'm going to wrap this up. This was a lot of fun. All right. If you guys have any last minute thoughts, comments, concerns on anything boxing related, I can give you good advice on that. If it's related to your chick, I'll try. I'm not sure my advice is good. I have been married for 12 years, so I got that going for me. There's one chick who can kind of stand to be around me. All right, y'all. I appreciate everyone dropping by. It is August 4th, 2024. From Texas to the world. Thank you, and God bless. Roger at the buzzer. What about the bottle of wine I used in the tomato sauce, allegedly? You used it in the tomato sauce. What's the problem, Raj? Like, I used the bottle of wine in the tomato sauce. I got you. Hey, look at that. Great minds get married at or around the same time. Congratulations, my man. Congratulations, my man. It's been a heck of a ride. 12 years going strong. All right, y'all. August 4th, 2024, from Texas to the world. Thank you, and God bless.